Thanks for joining the follow-up podcast. I'm Eden. This is my dad, Noah. And every week for the last 6 years now?
Yeah, it's 6. This is the sixth calendar year. We started in 2020.
So thanks for joining the 6th calendar year of the follow-up. This last week, if you missed the episode, we talked about colleges. And this week, we're going to go right into 6th grade.
Yeah, right into 6th grade.
A little bit about the future, now a little bit about the present.
So we had a middle school parent association meeting this week. And we were going over things that happened at the end of the year. I was like, the end of the year? It just feels like we're not... It's negative 5 degrees outside New York City, and I kept thinking, the end of the year, it really still doesn't even feel like we got to winter break, at least for me.
Right.
Like, it is flying. Does it feel like it's going faster than last year or any other year, or is it just me?
No, I don't think so. It's just been, last year I was doing my school, so I think just the beginning of the year went a little faster. But everything else seems the same.
Okay.
So it might just be you.
Okay. And we're also going to try, we've always talked about not saying like. So maybe just a pause instead, slowing down, enunciating. One of the reasons we do this podcast. Yeah. And another thing that Grandma has mentioned, and then even Mom talked about this week. Well, Grandma mentioned it from the podcast, but Mom mentioned it this week just in conversation, not anything to do with the podcast, was trying to eliminate the word so as a transition. Just pause and go.
Yeah.
No so, pause, go. That's a good one. Go ahead. What do you want to talk about? You have a hair on your sweatshirt. Okay. What do you want to talk about from 6th grade, academically specific? Favorite class?
History.
Why?
I think it really interests me, and I found our curriculum to be very interesting and really engaging. I've had great teachers.
What about it? What about it? History was my favorite, but what about it?
I think because history, you're learning facts, and you're learning, right now we're learning, 5th and 6th is ancient cultures and societies. So you're learning about how people thrived back then in whole different cultures, like compared to ours, and just how they learned and what natural resources they used and how they developed. And I think that's really interesting. And how it's not, I mean, some are definitely questions that you're trying to answer, but it's more facts than, it's a lot of facts, which I kind of like.
Oh, okay. I used to like thinking about in history, I was always amazed that they did all of this without our modern technology, and just it seemed like time was just different, and sure, priorities were different, the family dynamic was different, the evolution of man and religion and economies, I thought were really fascinating.
Yeah.
And I used to think in history, when it came to U.S. history, I used to think...
So that's 7th and 8th.
7th and 8th grade. I used to think, when I was in school, what are they going to write about from our time? Like, all this stuff happened. We learned about this history. What are they going to write about in our time?
Yeah.
And then the 2000 election happened, and that was contested between George Bush and Al Gore, and that was... I would say the Gulf War was one of the first things I thought, okay, well, now they're going to write about this in history books. And then that election, and then 9/11 happened, and that changed everything.
Yeah.
So, and then obviously since there's been tons. So, as when I was old enough, I guess, the 2000 election and 9/11 were the two major events.
For me, at least in my lifetime, the first, I'd say, huge major thing was COVID.
I would say...
Well, that I remember.
That you remember.
That I remember.
Yes, for sure.
That's what I'm saying.
I would say the 2016 election.
Yeah, but I was 2. I didn't know that.
Exactly.
I didn't know any of that.
But COVID for sure.
Right.
Right.
Like,
not just like a piece of history.
That's a chunk.
Yes, exactly. And the COVID time will continue to be studied because it impacted different people at all different parts
Yeah.
of their lives, obviously. So when you will be, I'm sure there will be plenty of research papers written about your generation
Yeah.
that COVID happened in kindergarten. How did that play out? How
Yeah.
did it impact the kids who were in sixth grade? How did it impact the kids who are in high school and college? And,
Also,
and the workplace.
now we're talking about what's happening now, and kind of history. We're talking about these things that happened so long ago, and it's interesting to see the real world connections you can make today and how that can connect, and the things we've learned from back then, like certain things like algebra was invented in medieval Islam, which is what we're learning about right now, or some scholar, I forget his name, but I actually should know that. But he diagnosed measles and smallpox and stuff that, just all sorts of stuff that came back from that time.
Yeah, and thinking about how some things haven't evolved, that wars were still fought over religion and still fought over land, but then maybe how some things were resolved that could be handled today.
Yeah, made a lot of treaties back then.
Yes, and now it seems like all of those are just blown up.
Yeah. You pay us tax, and we'll still have the land, but we'll leave you alone, and you can do whatever you want. And you can follow your own religion, speak your own language, but you just pay us tax every year.
Right, then it becomes what's worth it?
Right.
What other classes, or do you have, actually stay with history, do you have any big projects?
Right now, it's not like a huge project, but right now I'm working on a newspaper. So it was a creative assignment, and we had taken a bunch of notes on a bunch of different topics, and you couldn't just do a poster. It had to be something that showcased a bunch of your knowledge, but you could do it on really whatever you wanted, on whatever topic and whatever project. So I'm doing a newspaper, and yeah, I'm doing a bunch of different topics.
About?
Medieval Islam.
Oh, medieval Islam. Okay.
Yeah. Mostly taking place in Baghdad. So, writing about, somehow all of these things seem to be happening in the same week that this newspaper's coming out. All the important things that took place over 100 years coming out that week. But,
Gotta read it.
it.
Do you have any big projects that you know of the rest of the year?
Yeah, we have, I guess this kind of connects. Yeah, it does. The Silk Road.
Okay.
And I guess related to Marco Polo and stuff like that. And we make board games.
Oh, cool.
And a bunch of trivia questions.
Cool.
So,
okay, nice. Any other classes you're really into?
I really like Spanish.
Okay.
I really like learning a new language, and my teacher this year is really enthusiastic, so that really helps.
The teacher can make a huge difference.
Yeah, 100%.
And you don't have to love the subject, but if your teacher is so into it,
Yeah.
you can't help but get wrapped up in that teacher's passion.
Yeah. And kind of with teacher's passion, also science. Fifth grade was okay, but sixth grade's been really great, and I've been pretty much enjoying every single class.
Good.
So it's great, and we've been doing a bunch of experiments, and we have a really good teacher.
That's nice. That's nice. And I know you like all your teachers this year and all your classes. Are there certain things that you're being pushed in that are more challenging, that you're feeling like, this is definitely harder. This is something I'm going to have to spend more time on?
Math.
Okay.
Math's just hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what has helped you get through math? Because I know a lot of my friends will say that their kids will watch and listen to this, and they like hearing your perspective on things. So what has helped you get through math?
Talking through the program, even just to myself, talking through every step first, or not first, just talking through every step out loud helps.
Give me an example. Or not, you don't have to use a specific problem, but when you say talking out the problem, what do you mean?
So, you say first, okay, I need to do blah, blah, blah times blah, blah, blah.
Oh, okay, so it's just a straight problem.
Yeah.
I was thinking about a word problem.
Oh, a word problem. Okay, he has this many blah, blah, blahs and needs to divide it this many. He needs to separate it. He needs to hand out this many to this many friends. Okay, that means he needs to divide it by blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
But then this part, oh, I don't need to know this. Okay.
Like that part is just
They're
something that's
distracted.
just there trying to distract you.
Yeah.
Or what are they actually looking
Yeah.
for? Okay. And we've talked about for years about in math just being organized,
Yeah.
giving yourself enough space, right? Being organized on your paper,
Yeah.
maybe even having scratch paper and being neat and formatting things is really important. That'll help
Yeah.
you out a ton.
Yeah.
How about in writing? Because I know that at your previous school, teachers pushed you to get better at writing, and you read a lot. So what are the prevailing themes of your teachers' comments to you about your writing?
Well, we just did a whole short story unit, and we had to write, what was it, 8 to 20-page stories.
Okay.
And at least in my story, it was, what is the character's feeling? You need to show development in the story and being descriptive. And does this sentence make sense? And work on your sentence structure and stuff like that.
Yeah. So going deeper,
Yeah.
putting yourself in the reader's position of, whoa, how did we get here? Or why would she feel that way? Was it something about her past? Taking the time to develop the characters.
And our teacher wrote a ton of stuff on my work, and I tried to do pretty much every single comment that I could.
Yeah, and
All of them.
yeah, and I also think then you talk about talking things out loud in math.
Yeah.
Talking things out loud in your writing. Like you have to read your story out loud because your teacher is going to read it out loud.
Yeah.
So you have to hear how it sounds.
Yeah.
Because if you're just reading it in your head, you're just going to read it the way you want it to sound. I remember doing that with you in
so many times.
Like first and second grade of just, hey, read this out loud.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really important.
Yeah.
That is really important. And also what I do think is really important to know that at all phases of your academic career, not every class is going to be easy. No. Not every class is going to be hard. You're going to be really good at certain things. You're going to have to work harder in other things. And the sooner you understand that, okay, I have to spend more time in this. I'm used to spending only 20 minutes doing this. This is actually taking me 45.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that I'm not as good at it anymore. No. It's just you need to put in the more time and the dedication stamina, not just homework stamina, but the dedication stamina, that is significant.
Yeah. Like we had to do to prepare for a quiz, we had to do a 50 problem worksheet or whatever it was, packet. And that was hard. It was a lot of math. I split it up in half.
Okay.
It took me, I don't know, an hour. But it was like, even in this homework that I have due on, Wednesday? It's Wednesday? Yeah. I think it's on this online math thing. And it's a bunch of different small problem sets. Some are 3 questions each, if they're harder. Or not more harder. Some are, yeah.
You go back to English.
They're harder.
They're harder.
If they're harder.
More difficult.
More difficult. That's what I was trying to get at.
Yep.
If some of the ones that are easier, there will be 5 questions. Some are timed. You have to get under a certain time. There will be 10 questions. And I think there's 20 of them. Like, that's hard to get through.
Yeah.
I'm 60% done with it. I did it after my quiz. And that was hard because I had just taken a quiz and we had 40 minutes so we had 25 minutes left? Yeah. And I look at what I did was I looked at all the problems, look at the first problem. Is this going to be easy? Nope, I'll save it for later. So what I did is I tried to get all the easy ones just out of the way. Or easier, quote unquote. So I think that helped. And then usually I would just get the hard ones out of the way, but I didn't have time for that. So
you felt good about your system at least?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Have you felt like you're handling the more work or challenges?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. When you were in middle school, how did you feel about all of this? Like handling the workload, favorite subjects, harder subjects?
Yeah, but as I've said, middle school was 7th grade.
Yeah.
Started 7th grade for us.
We'll talk about 7th grade.
So 7th grade, it was a lot, but the expectations were really high. But I felt like our teachers I do remember feeling like our teachers absolutely prepared us academically. Like 6th grade was hard. But we were still kids.
Yeah.
And we got to 7th grade, and all of a sudden you're in school with, instead of 3 classes of 20, 22, 25 kids, now we've got 500 kids. And
right, so if there's it was 7 through 9.
Yeah.
So that's 3 grades.
Mm-hmm.
So that was 500 kids.
Yeah, about 1,500 kids. So
that's more than, I think that's about how many kids go to my whole school.
Right.
That's K through 12.
Exactly. So that was the biggest adjustment. And the expectations from our teachers was really high. But everybody was coming from all these different elementary schools in our township, and not everybody was taught the same way. So people are at different levels. And our teachers pushed us, they pushed us pretty hard. And you're also balancing, okay, this is middle school and there are all these other kids that you've never seen before, and there's a massive social adjustment in 7th grade for us that, yes, you guys feel it, but you're still with the same kids.
Yeah.
This was a massive influx of new kids and
so many other kids.
Exactly right. Yeah, just meeting so many other kids, being in the same school with a lot of my friends who didn't go to my elementary school. It was definitely a challenge. It was a huge adjustment socially, but academically also. I do remember I don't know if it was 7th grade specifically, but I do remember middle school, like staying up a little bit later, doing homework. But I was also the one who, I needed my sleep, and if I wasn't done my homework by like 9:30 at night, I would just wake up earlier in the morning because I was tired, so I wasn't going to. It wasn't like I was going to be productive when I was tired, so I'd just get to bed and wake up a little bit earlier. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like a good strategy. Yes.
It worked out for a while. Yeah. And even now, sometimes if I have things to do, I just can't keep my eyes open at night. I'll just get to the office earlier, just wake up earlier. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm glad that there's so much that you're enjoying, and that you know that if there are any struggles in any area, we're here.
Yes.
Always.
Okay.
All right. I love you.
Love you.